Welcome. Today I'm going to discuss a little bit about torpedoes or being triggered. Have you ever been triggered and somebody was talking and you were having a very, very amicable conversation and then all of a sudden, it became, those were fighting words. But they didn't even say actual fighting words. But somehow whatever they said triggered something really terrible in you and it became a heated conversation. That happens. That happens with my husband. It happens with my children. It happens with people you work with. And how do you deal with it? It's rough, isn't it? Maybe that's why we get belly aches, and maybe that's why we get more gray hair, and maybe that's why some of us were happy that COVID came along in some respects. So what do you do when a torpedo hits? What do you do when a trigger comes? Well, the Hebrew University of Jerusalem Psychology and Cognitive Brain Science departments, two people there, Isaac Fradkin and Aaron Eldar, I'm assuming they're PhDs, they had a study that they ran that was published in the PLOS Computational Biology Journal. And it indicates that you don't have to wait till the trigger hits. There's actually evidence that you can stop it. You can set up like a net. That's why I call the song Torpedo Net. Because we actually have a net in our brain, basically, the reticular activating system, which lets us know that I shouldn't be paying attention to the leaves blowing on the tree over there, or my chimes ringing, or whatever is around me, because I'm here with you right now. And so the reticular activating system in our brain lets us know what's most important to be paying attention to. But sometimes there's, like in our subconscious brain, we've got the reticular activating system is alive and well there too. And we don't always know what it's paying attention to. And that's where the torpedoes come in. That awareness that we're not aware of comes up. And we respond in a way that is not commensurate with what's going on in the present because it takes us back to something else. And we often don't even know what it took us back to. And so when the torpedoes do hit and they do explode, we have a choice. And the best choice is not to run. The best choice is to decide to learn, because that's what it is. It's a learning opportunity. Every challenge we have is. And because there are so many challenges, we do get to choose what one we learn from. But that's what those torpedoes are about. And that's what this song is about. That's what the triggers are. They're opportunities to learn and to grow. And so if we have a plan in place, a net in place to, in theory, to block the thought from coming into our brain and causing an explosion, because before it does do that, you start to feel it. You start to feel it coming. It's like, oh no, wait, something's coming up. You may not even recognize the kind of torpedo, but my idea is that, and what do you think about it? I would love your comment on it. Don't you think that it's possible that we could set up a plan and have in our intention that if a trigger starts, I am going to focus on, they call them anchor thoughts in psychology. Torpedoes for ships, anchors for ships. Oh man, we're all about water, right? Well, so this is coming in, and so if we have an anchor thought, maybe of our grandchildren giggling, or of when we learned how to ice skate, or when we were in Hawaii and our feet were dangling and we were, swimming with the dolphins, or whatever it is that is something that could take you away from this trigger that you know is coming, and just change it. No, when a trigger comes, no matter what it is, I'm just going to have this set point. I'm going to have this anchor. I'll breathe in. In fact, I recently learned also, here's a little tip, that it's not just a deep in and a deep out that helps you. What helps you is to have It's BR. Breathe, R rhythmically, and E is evenly. Rhythmically and evenly. Not necessarily, it's not necessarily that. I mean, that can be useful, but it's the in and the out that helps with your heart rate. What do they call that? It's a heart thing. Anyway, it calms everything down. Can't think of the word. Anyway, that's not what this post is about, but that was just a way that it might help anchor as well as you're getting that anchor thought, and you could add that into it. So here's this song. It goes like this. Incoming torpedo, don't let it hit. Evasive maneuver, set your net. Damage not taken, you don't have to fix. Incoming torpedo can trigger a fit. What do you want your story to be? What in your heart do you want to believe? When you believe it, it changes you. What belief will you pursue? Incoming torpedo, don't let it hit. Evasive maneuver, set your net. Damage not taken, you don't have to fix. Incoming torpedoes can trigger a fit. But if you will set your net and drill deploying it, you will learn, you can change, you can grow. Wiser with time, not bitter and old. But if you will set your net and drill deploying it, you will learn, you can change, you can grow. Wiser with time, not bitter and old. Incoming torpedo, don't let it hit. Evasive maneuver, set your net. Damage not taken, you don't have to fix. Incoming torpedoes can trigger a fit or a net. What you perceive is what you believe. What you perceive is what you get. To perceive is to become conscious, aware of something. To believe is to feel sure of something. Therefore, perception points to what we believe. Or we can't believe something we've not yet become aware or conscious of. What you perceive is what you already believe. And so when that torpedo is coming in, or that trigger thought, same difference, it's because of what you perceive is coming in, that you believe that's what's coming in. even though they just said, hey, honey, I love you. You look beautiful. Yes, sometimes that's a trigger. Isn't that awful? Well, it's not awful. It just is. There's a learning lesson for all of us. And they happen every day. And they can be pretty rough. And they happen in interpersonal relationships. They happen in work relationships. They happen in relationships with strangers. They happen online. When we have a plan in place and keep that plan in our intentions every day, we're less vulnerable to the torpedoes that could otherwise cause us to take a fit. And instead of taking a fit, we can choose to deploy our net. And in doing so, perhaps you and I could have a part in making this world a little bit more heaven on earth and a little less hell. I'm Sarah D. If you found my post useful, if you found it inspiring, enlightening, if you found it entertaining, if you found it anything worthwhile, please, I don't know, share with somebody that you think it might be useful for. And also, if you have any ideas about how you might deploy your net or fashion it, or maybe steps 1, 2, 3, because I've been thinking about that, because that's what I think about. Try to find solutions, because there are problems all over the place. And we are solution finders. We're problem solvers. And we have what we need to solve every problem that comes to us. I'm Sarah D. Make it a great day. Thank you for your time. I do appreciate it.